It's Sunday, I mean.
I'll make it roll call. We got 1 minute. Although we're recording now, so I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the RVTPO meeting for Thursday, September 25th. This time, I'll ask the executive director to please roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Tuck. Here. Mr. Nicely. Ms. White. Jim Fiszikowski. Here. Chair North.
Here.
Mr. Radford just let us know he won't be able to make it. Mr. Ballson lets us know he is on the road as we speak and may be joining us remotely. Vice Mayor McGuire. Mayor Turk.
Here.
Mr. Holliday.
Here.
Mr. Lyles. Mr. Stovall.
Here.
Mr. Price.
Here.
Mr. Stewart. Mr. Huber.
Here online.
And Mr. King won't be here, but Mr. Ford is here. Mr. King said, we have the quorum.
Thank you. Item 3 on the agenda, approval of consent agenda items. A, approval of the agenda. B, action on the August 28th minutes, pages 3 through 21 of your package. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. Item 3 carries. Item 4, remarks from the chair. We're gonna get this.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Peter Volleson, representing the city of Roanoke, has requested to participate remotely in today's meeting of the RVTPO under the TPO's policy of electronic meeting participation, allowing for remote participation for emergency, personal, or medical matters, and a physical quorum is present. Mr. Volleson has made the request due to travel as he is currently on the road back to Roanoke.
I move that we allow him to participate remotely. Do you need to read the section of the code?
As
Is it
long as
necessary?
it applies, it comports with our remote, the TPO's already adopted. remote
Okay.
policy.
And the passage of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, known as IIJA, in 2021, served as the most recent Surface Transportation Reauthorization Bill. And that bill is due to expire in September of 2026. The Association of Metropolitan Planning Organizations, which is known as AMPO, is currently working on a reauthorization roadmap. It emphasizes the critical role of MPOs play in local decision-making and project prioritization. Among AMPO's policy proposals for the next round of reauthorization are increased planning, which are PL funds of 1 to 3% of total formula allocations, and eliminate the local match requirement. Establish a funding floor for small and rural areas. Modernize the activities of the MPOs that are allowed to undertake using federal dollars, including data procurement, economic impact analysis, project administration, and others. Over the next several months, the policy board will be looking at ways to engage our members, representatives from AMPO, and other opportunities to communicate to decision makers the importance of supporting strong, adequately resourced MPOs to better implement local priorities and needs. While the MPO is particularly focused on supporting its MPO, while AMPO is particularly focused on supporting its MPO members, the Surface Transportation Reauthorization Bill has implications for localities outside of the RVTPO members. AMPO will present to our TPO in October on October 23rd meeting. Any questions on any of that? Okay. I think we plan on meeting with local professional delegation.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item 5, the 2025 nominating committee report. The chair recognizes Vice Chair Turk, nominating committee chair.
Thank you. Nominating committee for the Roanoke Valley Transportation Planning Organization met on August the 28th to discuss positions available and those that are interested in serving in those positions of chair and vice chair. At that time, Chair North expressed an interest to serve another term, and I expressed the interest of serving one more time as vice chair on the TPO. After discussion with the nominating committee and comments from those, their recommendation to this group is to we both are nominated for those positions, but there are nominations from the floor that we can take. So if there is anyone that's also interested in serving in either of those two positions, please nominate them or nominate yourself so that we have a full ballot and we've given everybody the opportunity. The term will start in October of 2025 and will end in September of 2027. So if there's anyone else interested. Hearing no one else. I guess we need to be voted on, so.
Yeah, we need a motion and a second to accept the slate.
Okay, then would someone else like to make a motion? I'd rather.
Motion to read out the slate of officers. I'll second.
Thank you. All right. With that being said, roll call vote, please.
Get my list out again.
Yeah.
Vice Chair, Mr. Tuck,
Yes.
Mr. Fizikowski,
Yes.
Chair North,
Yes.
Vice Chair Turk,
Yes.
Mr. Holliday,
Yes.
Mr. Stovall,
Yes.
Mr. Price,
Yes.
Mr. Huber,
Yes.
and Mr. Ford.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you all for your support for the next term. We both appreciate it, and I know Phil's worked really hard to be able to keep you guys updated on everything that's going on and to keep us abreast of what's going on, and look forward to working together with you in the next 2 years.
Thank you. Thank you today, and thank you for the support of the board. That doesn't mean we're gonna solve a lot of the problems we have today, but we're going to certainly keep chipping away at it. And I would say the biggest challenge we have is more funding. Amid, in the wake of a second big beautiful bill, we'll be lucky to hold on what we got. In any instance, we'll move on to item 6, trends in vehicle automation. Michael Mollenhauer and Caitlin Bedwell, are they here today?
Well, actually, we have some different presenters today,
Oh.
but they are here and
Oh, okay.
ready to present to us.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, I guess I will start with some gratitude to this group for that.
Can you make sure the microphone's on or adjusted so we can hear back here? Thank you.
Is this better?
Yes.
Want to start with gratitude for this group for hosting us today. I know that there is a lot in the media and public perception and infrastructure planning around automated vehicles. So Virginia Tech Transportation Institute is really at the forefront of this type of testing, and we want to make sure our mission is always data informed safety. So what we'd like to present today are some findings related to that, and that. So with the introduction myself and external facing initiative that we have called Dock to Door Coalition. So I am more on the freight end, on the major corridor end of I-77, I-81.
Can you try to do your best to speak up because no one can hear back here?
I apologize, sir. Is this better?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you want to, you can hold the mic too.
We have a very loud air conditioner. above
Yeah.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will try to go over the
There you
air
go.
conditioner. So my name is Caitlin Meadow. I'm the program manager of our Dock to Door Coalition that we host here at VTTI, which has a much more of a freight corridor focus across I-81, which is a behemoth for freight movement, as you all know, I-64 and I-77. We're a group of about 93 partners that we brought together across nonprofits, industry, academia, and government to inform emerging technologies. And so my intro slides in the next two are just a little bit of findings from our initiative with automated and connected vehicles. As you can see, we've got folks like Torque Robotics that does a lot of automated vehicle testing in the area, as well as Cavnu, who in other states has done initiatives like dedicated lanes to automated vehicles. So what we're seeing in terms of these emerging technologies and what we're hearing from both industry and government is really this realistic timeline. We know that in light vehicles currently, we've got advanced driver assistance systems. You're seeing some level of connected vehicles, but the applications for freight and transit for more of that highway long-term planning, we're looking at more of that 10 to 20-year timeline for levels 3 and 4. And so for those of you that are not necessarily in this space, but you know, the SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers, has these definitions that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration uses in determining policy. And even the Teslas today still require quite a bit of human operation and human monitoring, even what they would be considered as a level 2, even if they claim it as full self-driving. So in one slide to really distill it down, we know that AVs can reduce human error and enhance situational awareness, which my colleague Dr. Go will talk more about that crash safety aspect. And then on the more infrastructure planning side and urban planning for shift towards digital safety systems and smart infrastructure. So more real-time notifications, how that can inform traffic optimization. Even in supply chain, we're seeing that with 5G sensors and shipping containers. We're seeing more vehicles moving that freight. But realistically, you know, we're looking at an outlook for AV deployment that it is continuing, but this is slower than expected. And so that safety standard of how safe is safe to not place is a constant discussion point in this field, but we're hoping then to provide some data back to insights on that. And that's, but overall, we expect it to improve safety, but we do have to reach that level of testing and understanding. So I'll turn it now over to my colleague, Dr. Fargo, to dive into the mapping and identification of crash data.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to introduce some of our research and introduce like safety aspect of automatic driving. So the automatic vehicles hold a great potential to significantly reduce traffic crashes. One of the very famous study done by National Highway Traffic Safety Administration basically attributed more than 90% of the crashes due to human errors. So those including like recognition errors, decision errors, performance errors, impairments, like fatigue driving. So there's human are like one of the biggest factors at this moment of the safety. But automatic vehicle basically eliminates that to the fact from this equation. So I would bring the potentials. However, there are still a lot of challenges. One of the current biggest issues is that the automatic vehicle technology is still sort of in development. We saw some implementations. At this moment, everybody is trying to go back because we really have not really seen sufficient evidence that we get to the point where it's safe enough. So I just find this is literally, I got this from Waymo yesterday from their social media. So they basically say, hey, our automatic cars are safer than human. And they are like 3.5 safer in terms of injury crashes and 2 times safer than it's reported to crash in general. But are those enough? No, because we typically have a much lower tolerance for automatic driving crashes. So like just give you a little bit sense, like so far, like during this 1 hour meeting, like 4 people lost of their lives on road. Like every day, more than 100 people die because of crash. We don't even hear about it. Any automatic driving crashes, it's it's headline everywhere. So it's get to a point where like we have some like examples where Uber is doing actively develop automatic driving technologies, and one fatal crash in Phoenix, they basically sold their entire ABS development team. That was a few years back. So again, the biggest challenge is safety is basically make it or break it for the automatic driver. If we don't trust it, it's not gonna fly. But it's same time, like we hold a much higher standard for automatic driver safety. As besides the still evolving technology, and then there's also sort of, hey, we have automatic driving, but they are not the pure automatic driving for very, very long, like potentially decades. Those automatic vehicles still need to drive together with imperfect human drivers. So how do we deal with that situation? Still a lot of research need to be done. But I will probably talk about is the safety and the traffic management aspect of that. So most of the automatic driving cars have to operate in an environment called operational design domain. It's not okay, this is an automatic driving car and they can handle any situation. That's not the case. So it has to be say, hey, this car is certified, their ODD is on expressways, with very little traffic, clear days, that's LDD. But if you do not have that condition, they will not operate safely. And then there's sort of here are this like Federal Highway Administration. How do we do site safety management, screening, identify risk factors, safety countermeasures, and the evaluative effect. With that, sort of first step is identify where the crash happened. So this is just one like picture of all the crash happened in 2024 in Roanoke area. The scary is how many crashes happened, cover the entire space. But there's some randomness with there, but we are most interested in okay, which part is most dangerous, real dangerous part, because there's a lot of noises, a lot of randomness. They have to account for like traffic volumes, exposure for those. So those are some of the methodology we developed. Currently, we have a project with Federal Highway Administration, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. So we developed methodology to screen and identify dangerous road segments for more than 30 states across US. So sort of we apply that to this 81 corridor. You can sort of see there's closely, urban recognize this is one of the highway safety corridors. Based on that, how do we develop safety countermeasures for those? Well, it's complicated, but at the same time, automatic vehicles and another branch we call connected vehicles give us a lot of opportunities bring insight into what that happens. So one example is the connected vehicle that this can come from all the modern cars. They have these telematic devices. So they basically constant send informations about if there's a heartbreak, is my forward collision warning active? What is my speed R? So they send this to the car manufacturers. And some data vendors, or like if you think about Google, has all the location informations. They actually are pushing really hard to use their data to serve public good. So in that case, we will be able to identify like almost in real time which segments are most dangerous. So you cannot see on top of a regular number of crashes, you also have heartbreaking, uneven speed, ABS, electronic stability, even if you use foreign amounts. So all those has been shown to be positively correlated with crashes, can be used to predict the crash risk in real time. So this is an example of, all right, so where the speeding problems are. So it's very difficult question in the past, but with this connected vehicles technologies, we have the coverage of the entire network. So you can easily see here, what time, which segments were people speeding most, and how much do they speed. So such information give us a lot of tools, abilities to develop safety countermeasures. Another thing I like to sort of highlight is automatic safety vehicles are safe, but like Another aspect, this is analyzed of the, all the California, automatic, driving crash data sets. We have a crash report, we basically look at, okay, if a crash happens, which part of the car is where the impact happens? Guess what? Majority of the cases, this automatic driving car was rear-ended by a human driver.
That's.
Of course, that's kind of back to my first point, that automatic driving car has to work in with the imperfect environments. But at the same time, another kind of idea or possible reasons, those automated driving cars, they driving too slow, they brake suddenly. So yeah, they are seems not to be at fault, but they actually create maybe high risk situations for other road users. Okay, so another aspect we are doing is, again, this is the AI model, seems black marks, fancy, but by the end of the day, it's perception, planning, control, this simple driving tasks. So we also do a lot of research on, all right, so in terms of perception, this is like, for example, Tesla is 100% they call pure vision. So they don't rely on LiDAR, this is just based on camera, they recognize situation. But our study basically showing on clear day, the ability to identify and detect vehicles are really high. But during like rainy nights, the probability dropped to really, really low. And in that case, again, the situation is sort of, hey, they have to work under certain ODDs. But if this happens, what's gonna happen? Well, automatic driving car is, hey, this is out of my ODD, okay? What do I do? So there are some guidelines for that. One of them is, all right, so you take the minimum risk maneuver, right? So now you cannot drive. Should you pull over to the side of the shoulder, or should you stop right in the middle of the road? All right, so none of them are ideal, but at the same time, it's give us, all right, so how do we accommodate this kind of situations? Because under like adverse weather conditions, it's not just one part. The entire automatic driving fleet might be paralyzed. And then do we have those like safety zones for them to take the minimum risk maneuvers? So yeah, so that's kind of the very high level on safety aspect of the automatic driving, what we expect, and how can we better prepare for that. Thank you. So that's this.
Sure. I guess, who here has an ACC equipped vehicle? Adaptive cruise control. Okay, what is, I guess you have 3 settings on it. Do you have 3 settings? Which setting do you typically use?
Oh.
Minus out? Okay. There's like others. I use the furthest to the closest to. Huh? I do too. So what we found in the studies of adaptive cruise control vehicles is that, as Fong mentioned, they go too conservative. So what happens when you're driving an ACC vehicle is that you're the nice driver that lets people cut in front of you and you pull back. And so we're cutting in front of you and you pull back. Most drivers, so they drive actually less aggressive than we as human drivers do. And in fact, then if you're trying to increase throughput, as automation are claiming that we can get more vehicles through our system, you're actually going to get less vehicles through your system. And so the other question I'm going to ask is, who likes driving behind trucks on 81? Okay, why don't you like driving behind trucks?
Yeah,
You can't see.
Can't see is that, so it's the occlusion effect that you can't see. And most of these automated vehicles, like Tesla and all these, rely on sensors that only detect the vehicle ahead of you. So basically, you're just like driving behind a truck. You're blind to what's happening all around you, and all you can see is that one truck. And of course, if you can only see that one truck, you have much less perception reaction times. We as drivers, what do? I look at the car ahead of the car ahead of me, the car ahead of me. I look at the traffic light that's turning to yellow, and then I start reacting before. And so I have much better vision. So in my opinion, automation is worthless unless you have connectivity. You need more vision to see more around you, and that's why connectivity is the key to the success of automation. Without connectivity, I personally believe automation is dead. That's my personal opinion. I'm not sure what Waymo and Tesla are gonna say about that. So I'm gonna be talking about some of the work that we've been doing in terms of the transit side, but more kind of using connectivity and the data from these connected vehicles. One of them was a project that we did with Blacksburg Transit, where our objective was to try and minimize the fuel consumption, because the bulk of the budget of Blacksburg Transit is in the fuel that they use for these buses. And so, but the question becomes is, in order to minimize the fuel consumption of these buses, I can try to pull out some buses. And the extreme case would be, I just send one bus the entire day, but then I'm not serving the people, is that correct? So I have these objectives that are pulling. On one hand, I'm trying to minimize the fuel consumption, but on the other hand, I need to provide a level of service to the traveling public that is, I guess, acceptable. And so that's what we were trying to do is, can we come up with a real-time system where we can pull buses out of the system if we have extra buses, when we have low demand, or we can introduce buses into the system when we need extra buses. And that way we can try to minimize the fuel consumption, but at the same time maintain a certain level of service for these passengers that are riding the buses. And so this is just the flow chart, but basically what we had is 4 scenarios. One of them is introduce a bus as needed, or another option would be send a smaller bus, which is more fuel efficient than a bigger bus if the number of passengers are smaller. And if the flip side is I could remove a bus as needed, with low demand, or I could replace a larger bus for a smaller bus. So these are the options that I have. And we tested this, so we developed the system and we tested it on bus route, the Heathwood, if you're familiar with Blacksburg, Heathwood A, which goes from Virginia Tech to Fox Ridge, which is a major housing complex where we have lots of ridership. And when we ran this, you could see for some of these buses, we reduced the fuel consumption, but in other cases, we actually introduced more wait time. So these are the differences between the fuel consumption. We reduced the fuel consumption, or we increased the wait time from 300 seconds to 500 seconds. So we introduced an additional wait time for the passengers. We try to maintain within the same level of service, and running the system in real time. I'll just jump here. What we found is that we could produce a reduction of about 10% of the fuel consumption and greenhouse gas emissions, which is, this is equivalent to 1,100 liters of fuel, or 9,800 grams of CO2, kilograms of CO2. At the same time, we were able to maintain this level of service where passengers wait for less than 5 minutes for a bus. So that was the challenge that we had, and we were able to achieve that. The second application that we did with buses is, imagine yourself, you're approaching a traffic light that is red, that will turn green in, say, 20 seconds. What if that traffic signal controller could tell me that I'm going to be changing green in 20 seconds? And then if I receive that information from the traffic signal, can I, now that I know that I need to delay my arrival by 20 seconds, do it in an energy efficient way? So now I know I need to delay myself by 20 seconds. What should I do in order to delay myself by 20 seconds, but at the same time, minimize my fuel consumption? And typically that means that I want to try and slow down slowly so that I'm at as high speed as possible when it turns green, so that I can speed up and have less time accelerating. And so this is an example here where these blue lines are the trajectories. The blue lines are the trajectories of vehicles that are approaching a traffic signal. When it is red, so this is the x-axis is time, the y-axis is position. There's the traffic signal. When I approach the red traffic signal, I have to come to complete stop. So this is the first vehicle of the queue, they stop. When it turns green, then they accelerate and they move on. And what I want to do is go from these blue lines to these red lines. So these red lines now, we delay them by the same amount. However, when they approach the traffic light, they're not actually stopped. We actually get them to the traffic light without stopping these vehicles. And that gets the benefits that we're trying to achieve. And so we tested this on cars, but we also tested this, I'm going to focus on the buses. We tested it on the buses and we ran these experiments. So in order to do this, we had to develop fuel consumption models for these buses so that we could come up with the optimum trajectory for those buses in order to minimize their fuel consumption. I'm just going to skip over this, but basically, this is the traffic signal controller, if anyone's familiar, but that's what sends the information to the buses or to the cars to tell them that when the traffic light is going to be changing its indication. And we ran this on the smart road with these buses with the help of Blacksburg Transit. And what we found is the following. So you can see here are some trajectories of buses. This is the blue one is an uninformed bus driver. So you are approaching a traffic light and we randomly select different times of transition. So sometimes you only have to just slow down and then you accelerate if you are uninformed here. But you can see the difference between the blue line, the orange line. So what we looked at is, let's say we were to provide a countdown to the driver that would tell them that the traffic light would be turning green in 20 seconds, and then it would go down to 18 seconds and then 16 seconds, and let the driver make their own decisions. That's the orange curves, and then the yellow ones is our system running on the bus. So we actually compute the optimum speed and we tell the driver what speed to drive at. In this case here, there's no automation. There's connectivity with the driver trying to follow the recommendations that we give them. And you can see in this extreme example here, with the uninformed driver, they had to come to a complete stop. If you provided them with just a countdown, you were able to have them slow down to around 15 miles per hour. If you had our system running, you would have them able to run at 20 miles per hour when they proceeded through the intersection. Now, someone might ask, how are you going to deal with traffic signals that are actuated? So when you're approaching traffic signals here in Roanoke, a lot of these traffic signals are actuated, they're not fixed. And actuation means there are some loop detectors in the road, or there are some cameras that detect vehicles, and then they switch the timings based on there's a vehicle wanting to make a left turn, or there's someone on the side street that wants to go. And so that introduces more uncertainties, and we've looked at those kind of issues where it becomes what we call stochastic optimization, where you're trying to optimize, recognizing that you have uncertainties in how these signals are going to be behaving. And we've used AI techniques to try to predict when these traffic signals are going to be changing green in order to optimize the trajectories of those vehicles. So in a nutshell, what we found is we were able to get around a 23% saving in fuel for these buses just by doing this. It ranged somewhere between 10% to 36%. And although our objective was not to minimize their travel time, we actually got a 7% saving in the travel time of these vehicles, in addition to the fuel saving. So not only did we save the fuel, we got them to their destination quicker. So that's it, and I'll end my presentation here. Thanks.
We'll just all stand up here if there's any questions, if you have questions.
Thank you.
You-
Go ahead.
You had a slide that identified the exits on I-81 that were the most dangerous, and I didn't get the numbers down. Do you remember what numbers? It was like slide number 16. I'm just,
The exit numbers?
yes.
Yeah, well, it was, Salem was included in.
Oh, I know that, but I want the actual numbers. I believe it was slide number 16. Page 16 that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mile marker,
103 and 163. Yeah.
there are some segments, near the, the 81 is probably business most dangerous. 64 near Washington DC, there's some that segment as well.
Do you see it close to DC? Do you see it close to the coast and 64 at all? Endangered?
Yes.
Okay.
66 near Washington DC area, some part of that is pretty.
Of course, this is all based on the current situation today with all the construction that we have. Hopefully, the safety will improve by 2031 in that corridor when all the construction is supposed to be finished. I certainly would hope it would improve.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things about trucks on 81, now they spent millions of dollars building those truck lanes. And I've been doggone if the trucks want to get over in the far left lane, that's not for them, it's for the automobiles. They need to be in the right lane. And I know there's not enough troopers to enforce that, but it goes on every single day. And that doesn't help connectivity, as you mentioned, and being able to navigate 81 safely.
I had a question about the, the driverless vehicles and are they, I know I've had some friends that have traveled like in the United States and Texas and they've been on, are there any in operation in Virginia where you like, if you fly into somewhere in Virginia, you can get into a driverless vehicle?
Yeah, so I know like Tesla and Waymo started to operate in Arizona, Texas. They select a few cities, so you have automatic taxi. It's all like Uber app.
Right.
Call, they're gonna come here, but they have not get to Virginia yet. There's of course some legal permitting issues like that. And also, as I said, like they typically have to conform with the operational design domain. They have to get used to, they need some local information in order to make operate safely.
And I have a question for Dr. Rocca, is that the for the buses and I mean, is there, I don't know this, but I mean, are there hybrid type buses or electric buses where these studies are happening as well?
So actually, that's a very interesting question, because what we found was the hybrid buses were less fuel efficient than the regular buses. The reason for that is the battery was very heavy, so you have a heavier vehicle, so it's a trade-off between the weight of the battery and how much it adds weight and how that affects. So the hybrid buses were actually less fuel efficient than the regular buses.
Okay.
Yes,
Good to know.
diesel buses.
Right.
Which is counterintuitive.
Right.
Yeah, and then one of the things that like studies have talked about whether electric vehicles, because they're typically 40% heavier, whether they emit more particulate matter from the tires. Well, what we found is that electric vehicles, yes, they're 40% heavier. So you emit more from the tires, the PM from the tires. However, given that you have regenerative braking, you actually emit less from the brakes. And actually what you gain from the brakes is more what you lose from the tires. And so electric vehicles actually emit less non-exhaust emissions, PM emissions, than regular vehicles.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah, in the buses anticipating the light change scenarios, did you see an increase in accidents where, it's one thing to get into the intersection faster, but the other side is there are people that tend to push the end of the red light, and now if we're getting people into the intersection faster, does it promote more crashes?
So, well, we've never run it on real intersections, like it was on the smart road, so we didn't have that. I actually was one of the participants in the system, and you can tweak the system. So when I was in the system, it was actually scary because you're approaching a light that is red, and you have to have trust in that car that it knows what it's doing. So your first intuition is, I want to press on the brakes. But if you just let the car and it knows what it's supposed to do. We did it with automation as well. So it was not only just the driver taking control. So in this case with the buses, it was the driver in control. We're just giving them a recommended speed, and then you can follow it. If it's automation, you have to believe the system, but you can then tweak it to get less benefits from the energy side, but to address your safety issue, that we can make it, will be a certain distance away from the intersection before it turns green. So maybe you could say 20 feet from the intersection. So then you give the driver feels more comfortable, and then you can address the issues that you mentioned, that the other vehicles that are running a yellow light, that still, I mean, you're supposed to have an all red to clear the intersection of any vehicles that entered the intersection legally during the yellow. So that should be taken care of. It would be someone who's running a red light, then you'd be counting that, you know. Actually, this summer I was in the UK, and one thing I really liked about there is they also have a yellow before they go from green to red.
Yeah.
I really like that. So they inform you that we're gonna be turning, because you have a start loss at the beginning. That reduces the start loss at the beginning in addition to the yellow at the end of the.
Early yellow rings.
And they don't have to.
Yeah,
And do that.
I'll tell you what y'all need to do. You need to study 460.
460.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on up and study 460 sometime so we can get green lights that are green all the way out to Montauk County, Bedford County. That way traffic will flow more smoothly. But when they are in sync, it works. But when they get out of sync, it's
So
not good.
actually, my PhD was how to get traffic lights in sync, but not, so it's easy to do if it's a one-way street.
Yeah.
But if it's a two-way street, then whatever you come up in one direction is not good in the other direction. So then you have to do what we call a compromise solution, which politicians, I guess, are supposed to do, but then everyone will complain about you. If you do a compromise solution, that these people in the eastbound direction are going to complain and the people in the westbound direction are going to complain.
Yeah.
But then we were trying to do it for a grid network. So in addition to east-west, it's north-south. So I tell my students, I lost my hair and didn't solve that. Don't try it.
Any more questions for our guest? Very likely. Appreciate all the good work that y'all do down there. What else you got on your study list at the VTTI?
On my side, we're working on now traffic signals in Falls Church. We're looking at ways to improve the traffic signals. There, we're also going to be working on one of the Beamer and Southgate intersection, looking at ways to improve. We've come up with ways that can reduce. We found that the current signal timing methods overestimate the cycle length, which increases the delay. And that also increases the length of the queues, which can spill back to upstream signalized intersections. So you're trying to balance, you don't want the queues to spill back to upstream intersections, or if you have a left turn bay, you don't want the queue to spill back onto the through movements. And so we're trying to deal with those issues. We're also looking at cybersecurity issues. What else? We're looking at modeling of traffic and also with freight, looking at multimodal optimization. How can you move a container from Madrid, Spain, say to Denver, Colorado, and to multimode? So when do you use the train versus when do you use the trucks? Those kind of issues. So those are some of the issues that we're looking at.
Got a lot of different studies going on.
Yeah. And I owe to the folks here that I'm supposed to do a modeling study for Salem. They had some issues.
Yeah,
that, I'm gonna be looking at hopefully.
Yes, thank you. We would appreciate that.
Very good. You have a question? Okay, well, thank you all very much. Appreciate all your good work you're doing.
I have
Well,
one.
you have no
One
question.
Is this something you can share with us or?
Yeah, we can share it.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Well, we'll include it in the minutes, but we can also send the presentation out specifically to the policy board after the meeting.
That's good.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Then go Hoagies. What's for? Okay. Let's move on
Thanks for
to-
inviting us.
Thank
you.
Thank you all very much. Move on to item 7, Watertown and Roanoke counties retained funding recommendation, pages 22 through 24 of your agenda package. Allison Stinnett. Tell us what you have.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I'll just talk really loud. Um, So, this is the item that we talked about last month. So you all heard two great presentations from Botetourt County and Roanoke County to retain funding for their Dow Hollow and then, the Route 1020 Super Street. And, so that was sent back to the TTC to discuss. So we had a robust conversation with, more in-depth presentations from the two folks. And the result of that conversation was that the TTC has recommended to the policy board to include those two requests, to be incorporated into the financial plan. So just to remind everybody, that was to retain $1.7 million for the Route 11 460 West Main Street at Dow Hall intersection. And then $2.5 million for the Route 220 Super Street Access Management Project. And what you have on your tables are a updated resolution, and on the back is the financial plan. So from the time that we had the meeting, you know, I know there was people out of office, so there's a little bit number of changes from what was in the original agenda packet versus what's at your table. So we heard back from VDOT that we actually had more money than what we thought, so that's better than, you know, not. So, the available number for this financial plan that we're updating is $10,079,497 instead of the 8.8 number that is shown in the packet. So that number is a little different than what, you know, if you add up, you know, the information. So VDOT let us know that there was also additional funding that was from the finalization of the SIF. And that was about $268,000. That's what gets us to that $10 million number as of right now.
That $10 million number was what, 10,049,000?
$10,079,497.
Okay, thank you. And question, when does the 5 million come, 5 more million come into play?
Yes, so it's my understanding that we'll find out that information by February.
And that's usually about 5 million if
Yes,
it's,
sir.
if it.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're looking at about 15 million, so, overall, but, so
Okay.
I know that we have Megan and John here today, if anybody has any additional questions that they want to ask about the projects, but, we had a hour and a half long conversation at the TPC about this, and it was great, so, yes, sir.
Thank you for that report. Does anyone have any questions on this subject for Allison or staff? Okay, there being none, we also have a, I think it's a resolution, do you want to do with that?
We need the motion in a second and then a roll call vote because of our financial matter.
Okay, so, this time I entertain a motion to approve item 7.
I move that we approve the amendment number 1 to the fiscal year 2026-2031, item number 7.
And do we have a second on that motion?
Second.
All, okay, we'll need a roll call on this.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Tuck,
Yes.
Mr. Fitchukowski,
Yes.
Chair North,
Yes,
Vice Chair Turk,
Yes.
Mr. Holiday,
Yes.
Mr. Stovall,
Yes.
Mr. Price,
Yes.
Mr. Huber,
yes,
Mr. Ford.
Yes.
That motion passes, Mr. Chair.
okay, thank you very much, and thank you, Allison, for the report. Thanks to TTC for their work on this. Item 8, other business. Is there any other business to come before the TPO today?
Mr. Chair, we will have one item here shortly from Ms. Garland, who's going to debut a short video for the TPO after any other comments.
Hello, yeah, I always bring the time to the meeting. So, fine. So this was a project I worked on over the course of the summer. Some of you here, are very aware of what this is about. We're featured in this video. This is, the point of this video is to, it's an educational piece to show you how to ride Valley Metro. And, I'm just really proud of this project and I wanted to share it with you. And please, you said, share it in your platforms. Check it out.
I'm Kevin Price, General Manager at Valley Metro. Have you ever wanted to learn how to ride the bus but just didn't know where to start? Well, this video is for you. We're here to show you just how easy, affordable, and convenient it is to ride the bus in the Roanoke Valley. Valley Metro bus service connects you to work, school, shopping, and more in the cities of Roanoke, Salem, and the town of Benton. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Joe Cobb, Mayor of the City of Roanoke, and I'm here today to show you how to pay your fare to ride Valley Metro. A single bus ride costs $1.75. Children 10 and under ride free when accompanied by a paying adult. Middle and high school students get a discounted fare, and Virginia Western students ride for free. Just show your valid student ID. When paying with cash, if you don't have the exact change, don't worry. The machine will issue you a card valid for the cost of your change, which you can use in your next ride. You can also pay or use one of these Valley Metro passes. There are a few card options to fit your needs, whether you ride once in a while or every day. Using a fare card is the easiest way to use and pay for Valley Metro. You can buy your fare card here at 3rd Street Station using a credit card or cash. One fare card, please.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Staff are always happy to help you find the pass that you need. If you're a senior or disabled, you may purchase your fare card here at 3rd Street Station by showing your ID. To learn more or check current fares and discounts, visit valleymetro.com/fares-passes. That's it. Simple, affordable, accessible. Next up, how to board the bus.
Hello, I'm Brad Gross, the mayor of Benton. Let's walk through what you should do when you're ready to catch the bus. Valley Metro bus stops are marked by these signs. Some bus stops have shelters that provide extra comfort while you wait. Wherever the sign is planted, that's where the front of the bus will stop. So be sure to wait right there. If you are in a shelter, step out when the bus is approaching to make sure the driver sees you. Valley Metro buses run on an hour schedule, so make sure you arrive 5 minutes before the scheduled time.
I'm Garrett. Valley Metro buses are equipped with ramps to assist riders with mobility devices. The driver will help you get on board and secure your wheelchair. Priority seating is available at the front of the bus.
If you're sitting in a priority area, please give up your seat to someone who needs it more.
To exit, simply pull the yellow cord when your stop is coming up. Upcoming stops will be displayed on the screen at the front of the bus. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you're riding with a bike, no problem. Valley Metro buses have bike racks on the front. When you exit the bus, make sure you let the driver know that you have a bike on the front. Thank you. You'll exit from the front door to access the bike from the rack.
Valley Metro is for everyone, and getting on and off is easier than you think.
I'm Renee Turk, Mayor of Salem, and if your trip requires taking more than one bus, don't worry, transferring is easy. When you get on the bus, just let the driver know you'll need a transfer. They'll give you a ticket that's valid for 30 minutes after the end of your first ride. Valley Metro uses a hub and spoke system. That means that all routes connecting through the 3rd Street Station in downtown Roanoke. From there, you can hop on any bus to reach your final destination. For example, if you're coming from Salem and going to Valley View Mall, you'll ride Route 92 to 3rd Street Station and then transfer to Route 15 to complete your ride. Transfers are free and easy and can get you further across the region.
I'm Dr. Verlita White, Superintendent of Roanoke City Public Schools. If you know me, you know I like a plan. Planning your bus trip with Valley Metro is easy, and I'm here to show you how. Start at valleymetro.com. Scroll to the trip planner on the main page and enter where you're starting and where you're going. This tool will show you the fastest route to your destination by bus. If your trip requires a transfer, the planner will show you where your route changes. On the map, a change in color means a change in bus route. So you'll need to transfer, usually at 3rd Street Station. All Valley Metro routes meet at the 3rd Street Station, and buses depart there every hour at 15 minutes past the top of the hour. And for real-time tracking, this is your best friend, the VM Go app. With VM Go, you can track your bus in real time, know exactly when it'll arrive, check stop locations, receive push notifications about service updates, and even save your favorite routes. Whether you're traveling to a parent-teacher conference or a football game, the tools are right at your fingertips. Many of our schools and buildings are located right near a bus stop, including our Community Empowerment Center. And our central office is located right next door to the 3rd Street station, making it easy to visit. Don't forget that all middle school and high school students are eligible for a student discount fare card. These cards can be purchased at 3rd Street Station by presenting your student ID.
Hi, I'm Mike Stewart, Executive Director for the Roanoke Regional Airport Commission. You're used to hearing me say thanks for flying ROA. Did you know Valley Metro can get you around the valley in multiple ways? It's not just city buses. Let me tell you about a few. First up is Metroflex, a flexible curb-to-curb ride service. If you're in Roanoke City, Salem, or Benton, you can schedule a ride and get picked up right at your door. Metroflex starts when the fixed route bus service ends. This service offers door-to-door rides within the cities of Roanoke and Salem and the town of Benton, Monday through Saturday from 8:45 p.m. to 12:25 a.m. and on Sundays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Each ride is just $1.75, the same as regular bus fare. To schedule a ride, just call 540-343-1721. Provide your name, pickup and drop-off locations, and your trip time. You can book the next day or even the same day if space is available. Subscription for monthly pre-scheduled trips is also available. Please note that Metroflex buses do not have fare boxes and monthly passes are not accepted. Exact change is recommended. Need to travel further? The SmartWay bus connects Roanoke and the New River Valley, including Virginia Tech and Roanoke-Blacksburg Airport. It's a great option for commuters, students, and travelers. With free Wi-Fi available on all buses, the fare is just $4 each way, and Virginia Tech students and faculty ride free with a valid Hokie passport. Valley Metro offers service to the airport a couple of different ways. Fixed Route 25, Metroflex, or the SmartWay bus. Whether you're staying local or going regional, Valley Metro's got a service to get you there.
I'm Tina Workman, the Executive Director of Downtown Roanoke Incorporated. Another great service from Valley Metro is the Starline Trolley. Hop on the Starline Trolley for quick services between Crowley Clinic and downtown Roanoke. The Starline Trolley provides convenient transportation to retail businesses, schools, the library, restaurants, the farmers market, and lodging along Jefferson Street between downtown Roanoke and the hospital. It's completely free and runs Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every 20 minutes. And if you're returning to Roanoke on a late night train, SmartWay offers a special Amtrak connector from Roanoke to Blacksburg, and it waits for the very last train. Visit valleymetro.com and download the route map and schedule for the Starline Trolley and SmartWay bus.
Thanks for watching. We hope this video has made you feel more confident and ready to ride with Valley Metro. Whether you're headed to work, school, shopping, the airport, or just exploring Roanoke, Valley Metro makes it easy, affordable, and accessible to get there. Visit valleymetro.com to plan your trip. Check out routes and schedules and learn more about our services. Don't forget to download the VM Go app for schedule information, real-time updates, and route tracking right in your pocket. We look forward to seeing you on board, and thank you for riding Valley Metro.
Just one question, if somebody got on elected official, I'm not sure they use their card.
For routing Valley Metro route tracking right in your pocket. We look forward.
We'll be looking forward to that. And thank you for everyone in this room that participated in that.
Yeah, they were very professional. And
Yes, did a good job.
very helpful.
So are you running this?
I'm having a lot of
Okay,
fun.
let's do it again now. So was this, is this shown on RVTV?
Yes.
too? Is it?
Yeah, and we will feature it, of course, on social media, but we're also gonna make each clip available separately, so we can just share the clips. You don't have to see the whole thing, but we're sharing it with organizations to use it as an educational tool, so they can have it with employers or students.
You can go on your website, or you can go on our website, and watch this too, or which website?
That is a good point, yeah, we should put it on our website. We will do that.
Yeah, anyway.
Mention the week without driving, because I think we're gonna do a lot of the outreach with this video for that.
So
I need someone to drive me around all my beats so I can do work in between. Very good, sir. Very good piece of work there.
And Mr. Chair, might just, one addition, that entire video was produced by RVTP.
Of course.
So that was all produced locally through the shared media, so the
Good.
folks over there did a great job, and we're
So we
happy.
got
to get
great
to work with
labor.
them.
Great talent.
That wasn't free, Pat. Yeah.
Big productions. It was a great collaboration.
And go. I think one of the most surprising things that's ever happened to me is when I heard a knock on my office door and I opened it and there was a giant maroon eagle. Hanging up the hallway. Was not anything I expected to see.
Rudy visited you.
Visited the office, we got photos, and it was a big surprise, so thank you for participating.
That was good.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. I appreciate
There you go.
being in it.
So you give an autograph back. Very good.
You do.
All right, anybody else got any other business? Not, we'll move on to comment period by RVTPO policy board members and or public. Any comments from anyone on the board? Nothing exciting going on in anyone's neighborhood? Okay.
Mr. North, I would just say, he's not here, probably because, Mike is having more fun than a body can handle with the plane yesterday evening. Very, very auspicious day to be meeting after that, incident, so. I'm
Oh, you
sure.
mean Mike, yeah.
Yeah, so he had a good reason not to be here, I'm sure.
Right, I'm sure he did tie it up a little bit. I'm glad nobody was hurt.
Absolutely, but more evidence that the airport needs lots of love and lots of, hopefully that funding to expand all the runways can come in.
Yeah. You know, what I sense on the airport is you get those that say we're ready and those that say we're not ready, and FAA is said we're not ready. And, but they did include, us to do a study. We just gotta find some money from somebody to do the study, and that may be the General Assembly. Maybe, so let that's yet to be determined until later on this year.
As slow as everything moves, we can say we're not ready or that we're ready, but it's gonna be another 10 years.
Well, we gotta build a business case. 60% of customers in this region go to Charlotte and or Lynchburg or a few other choices. And that's called leakage.
Yeah.
And the devil's in the details, because when you buy a ticket that originates in Charlotte, your zip code is 24012 or whatever it is around here, that's where they know that you live in this area, but you originated in Charlotte. And, you know, you do it for personal reasons, you do it for saving a few $100, but like I said last time, I learned my lesson one time and I've never done it again, because it ended up costing me some more money than I would have saved, because sometimes things happen. All right, moving on to item 9. Any further comment period, anyone in the room?
I do have one additional item. Ms. Dirk's arrival reminded me of this. You may be aware that the New River Valley Regional Commission has picked up the finishing a valley to valley trail study. So you might see some public comment in the region as they're undertaking, looking at some alignment decisions. They're wrapping up the study that was initially started a number of years ago. So this is completing that original study. We just want to share that in case you see that that's happening at the same time that Roanoke County is doing work with the West Roanoke River Greenway. So we want to make sure there's no confusion as to who's looking at what in that alignment. But I know there's been the last several TPOs, there have been questions about sort of where that study kind of stands. And so what we learned, it's wrapping up. If anyone wants to share anything about that, I certainly invite you to, but just letting folks know that that is the commission there is starting that. And then if there's an opportunity to bring them in to discuss sort of what the status of that study or the results when they wrap that up, we'll certainly invite them to the TPO.
So you're saying that they've got the alignments finished?
They are doing public comment on, and I don't remember the number, but there's a couple of draft alignments they're looking at. And so I believe they're taking comment on public preference on maybe 3 different alignments. They have not they're not opposed, they're recommending anything yet that I'm aware.
Yeah, well, the last thing that I had heard was, before, Norfolk Southern decided to change the route for the better. With the Virginia line, that was gonna be something that was gonna be looked at as part of the Valley to Valley Trail, which made it very easy. Because you only gotta deal with one person for a right of way entity. So that'd be interesting to hear that, because I haven't heard the details on that. Well, Montgomery County, we've been putting our pennies away for whenever that gets going.
Well, I hope you got a lot of pennies.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a lot.
We've got 2 greenway segments that the cost is one of them is gone through the roof. And we hope it comes down. The other one, we've had to mitigate, we're working with VDOT. So we'll see how those fundings go, but one costs as much as a mile on 81.
Well, it may be the last leg that's put together then.
So if we could get some money out of Washington, it would be a non-issue. Just go and get it done.
And
It'll take a little while to do that, but there'll be more on that from the TTC later. Okay, there being no more comments, we'll move on to adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Quick update from DRPT, if I may.
Okay.
Thanks. Another reminder for anyone interested in applying for Smart Scale Round 7, any transit major projects, you have to meet with us by the end of October. We're hosting our fiscal year 27 grantee application workshop on November 19th. So mark your calendars. If you're planning on applying for funding from us, you do have to attend. And we've begun our fiscal year 27 to 30 STIP development coordination meetings. So we've begun reaching out to MPOs and our agencies. So we'll be scheduling those meetings throughout October. I believe Roanoke is already on our calendar. So thank you for your promptness in responding. And then as well as a Federal Railroad Administration has issued a funding opportunity for their federal state partnership intercity passenger rail. So if there's any interest in any communities applying for that, feel free to reach out to us and we can help you get pointed in the right direction or help you develop the application. But that's all from me. Thanks.
Any questions for DRPT rep? Yes.
Mr. Chair, I'm Barbara Dirk and I'm not on this committee, but I attend regularly. I am late today because of the incident that happened at the airport last night. And so I just got back in from Charlotte, but other planes were diverted to Richmond and around. I was hoping that Mike Stewart would be here because from my perspective, they handled it very, very well. And that it also proves that we need to have the airport extended. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, does anybody have anything before we adjourn? I have a motion to adjourn. So moved. Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody that checks to adjourn? We stand adjourned.
I don't know what been down on that too long.
Yeah, we were.